Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Diola OJ and I share about personal finance from my perspective as an immigrant in Canada. So if this is something you like to hear more about, if this is something that interests you, please subscribe to my channel, like and share with your family and friends. Today I want to talk about saving and investing for children. So I had a conversation with someone and basically they don't believe in having to save and invest for their children, especially for things like education. So they believe that when their child gets to that stage, they can fend for themselves, they can take care of themselves or find a solution to their financial needs when it comes to their education or really just anything that their child needs. And so I'd like to throw this out to you. What do you think? What's your opinion about putting some money aside every month or from your paycheck every time you get paid for your children's education or just your children's financial needs? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. So yeah, from my own perspective, the other day I shared on Instagram that we have a children education savings fund that we use to save for our children's education. Education here in Canada is very expensive. In North America, really, is very expensive for university and college education. Basically, from kindergarten to high school, your child goes to school for free or relatively cheap. And after high school, you have to pay for their university education. What most people do here in North America is they take student loans, but we don't want our kids to take student loans, and so we're taking intentional steps to save every month towards their education. So when they get to say 18 or 19, when they're ready to go to school, we'll probably have some money set aside for their education. Now I know some people have different opinions about this, and especially as there are a lot of things that you need to use your money for currently. There are a lot of expenses. Living is just expensive. Housing, feeding, clothing, and sometimes you even want to travel. Like everything is so expensive, and people don't even have the luxury of putting money aside to save for the future or to invest. But I would recommend that if you can, please save for your children. Please invest for them, put some money aside and just give them a good financial foundation. This can be very helpful, especially as immigrants. You want to strive to build generational wealth. You want to give your children, your grandchildren, that better landing for them, basically to be better when it comes to finances, when it comes to building wealth. There are different ways you can save for your children in Canada. You can open up a savings account for them. Several banks have products that are tailored for children and youth, so you can open an account for your child. However, if you put your child's savings in just a savings account, you're earning very little interest on your savings. And when you take inflation into perspective, you will find out that in the long run, your purchasing power for whatever money you have sitting in your savings account reduces because of inflation. And so you would want to invest whatever money you're saving for your children. This is not financial advice. This is just financial education, and this is my opinion. So make sure you seek advice from a financial advisor and also do your own research. Also, you can save and invest for your children through the Rrsp. So that's the Registered Education Savings Plan here in Canada. The Canadian government created this account to help parents or grandparents or family members in general save for children's education in the future. And when I say education, I mean post-secondary education, so university, college, vocational programs, or trade school. And if you want to open an Rrsp, you need to have an SIN, a social insurance number, and the child also has to have a social insurance number before you can open an Rrsp for that child. You can open an Rrsp at a bank, a credit union, or a trust company, insurance companies. You can even open your self-directed Rrsp through a brokerage. You can just sign up and open your Rrsp and start saving and investing for your child through the Rrsp. When you contribute money into your Rrsp, you can invest in financial assets that are allowable by the government, such as stocks, bonds, exchange traded funds, ETFs, mutual funds, and just grow your money through the financial markets. But you also need to know that as much as you can make money through the financial markets, you can also lose money. But keeping your money in cash, also there's a risk of inflation. So just make sure you do what's best for you, what's best for your family, and speak to a financial advisor if you need to. One important and advantageous aspect of the Rrsp is that when you save and invest, so when you contribute through your Rrsp, you get the Canadian Education Savings Grant, which is money that the Canadian government gives you for saving and investing for your child through the Rrsp. The Canadian government tries to encourage people to save, and so when you contribute money to your Rrsp, you get a grant of up to $500. So the government gives you 20% of whatever you contribute into your Rrsp up to $500. And what that means is, to get that maximum amount of $500, you have to save $2,500 in your Rrsp per child per year. And if you save lower than $2,500, so for example, if you save just $2,000 every year for your child, you would only get 20% of that $2,000. So that's $400. And you want to make sure that you're getting the most that you can get from the government. So if you can save up to $2,500 at least every year through your Rrsp and get that free $500 from the government, you can invest more, you can save more through your Rrsp, but you wouldn't get more than $500 from the government. The only time you can get more than $500 from the government through your Rrsp is if you're catching up for a previous year that you didn't contribute to your Rrsp. So for example, if you don't contribute $2,500 this year because you had other financial needs that you needed to attend to with your money, you can catch up in the next year. You can put $5,000 in your Rrsp and the government will give you the $500 grant for the previous year and the current year. So that's $1,000. That's the only time that the government can give you more than $500, and it can't even give you more than $1,000. So you can't play catch up for more than 2 years basically through your Rrsp. So make sure that you're contributing for every year that you're eligible to save and contribute to an Rrsp. Please take advantage of this and get that free money from the government. The only thing about saving for your children through an Rrsp is that they can only use that money for post-secondary education. They can't use that money for anything else. So if you want to save for your child to buy a house, maybe for a down payment in the house in the future, you can do that through other means. You can save and invest through your tax-free savings account, which is an account that allows you to grow your investment income tax-free. That's another no-brainer that you need to have in Canada. I'll touch more on that in a different video. If you'd like me to kind of walk you through what the TFSA is, the tax-free savings account, and to also speak more about the registered education savings plan, please let me know. I'll do another video that speaks more to that. I believe you can also have a trust fund for your children here in Canada. You can invest in assets through your trust fund for your children, and then when they're legally able to take over the assets, then they can do that. You can also save and invest for your children through your own personal brokerage account. So you can allocate different financial assets to your children by making them beneficiaries to your investment accounts, to your financial assets. However, because your children are minors, you would have to have a guardian for your children before you can make them beneficiaries for most financial assets through most financial institutions in Canada. You can also draw up a will and make your children beneficiaries to your financial assets. That's another way for you to secure your family wealth and transfer your family wealth to your children. I think it's very important that we think about these things and just make plans and intentionally plan for our children, plan for our family when we're making financial decisions. In summary, I believe that it's important for you to save and invest for your children. Please let me know what you think, because some people think otherwise. I think it's good to give your children that soft landing, give them good financial foundation, and this can really help them later in life, because financially things are tough. And so if you can give them that privilege, I know a lot of people see wealthy people today and they say this person is wealthy because they are privileged. There's nothing wrong with privilege. If you can give your children that privilege, please give that to them. That's like a very basic gift that you can give your children. And if you're not even able to start saving and investing for your children now, that is fine, as long as you're planning and taking steps to enable you do this later on in the future. That is also a good start. And even if you can't contribute as much as $2,500 into your Rrsp every year, you can start with as little as you can. You can start with $100, you can start with $200, you can start with $300 or even $50. Just build that habit of putting money aside for your children regularly, and over time, as you increase your income, you find out that because of the habit that you have built from even when you didn't have enough money, you'll be able to do better when you have more income. And so yeah, help your children build that financial foundation, give them a good landing, and help your generation build wealth. I hope that you start thinking about saving and investing for your children, because I think that that's very important. Something that's also important is for you to teach your children financial education. So as much as you're saving and investing for your children, it's important that you teach them how to manage and control money, because you want them to manage whatever assets or whatever financial assets you're leaving to them. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Bye.